Hey, South Carolina's math industry, and we're going to be adding and subtracting radicals. So, we've been learning in the past that we've seen like perfect squares, like the square root of 16 equals 4, and non-perfect squares, like the square root of 2, 2 times the square root of, let's say, 20. What we could do is do 4 and 5, because 4 is a perfect square. Turn it into 2, multiply that with that 2, so we have 4 square root 5. So we know how to simplify radicals that are not perfect squares. So what we're going to do is do a combination of them. One that where you add and one where you subtract. And that is why we're going to add and subtract them. Or that's why this is the video name of it. So, when we were doing in the last video that we try and find perfect square numbers and try to put them in a different form. What we have to do is do it with these ones as well. To make it easier for it to combine like terms and to make it easier for us to calculate, we're going to try and turn all of these radicals into something that we can easily do. If we find something like the radical of 2 plus 4 times the radical of 2, that is going to be 5 times the radical of 2, because radical 2 and 4 radical 2 is basically like combining like terms. But if you add the radical of 2 and the radical of 3, you can't really simplify it, so you leave it like that. So let's get started.
Good, we can use the wood.
I can save it with science.
Okay.
We have right here 2 radical 45 plus the radical of 20. Remember, radical means the root in Latin. So what are the square roots? We can pull out 9 and 5 for this one. Circle the 9 and transform it into a 3. For the square root of 20, we can do 4 and 5. What we can do is circle the 4, transform it into a 2. Now what we have right here are numbers that we transformed because they were perfect squares. We can put that 3 up by the 2 and put that 2 up in front of the radical of 20. Now we'll have 2 times 3 is going to be 6. 6 radical 5, because the 5 was not used. We have to add that by 2 right here, so we have 2 radical 5, because the 5 was not used. We are going to add the 2, but wait, there is another number that we forgot to do. We have to subtract by 3 times the square root of 80. Well, what we could do with that one is we can transform it into 16, multiply that by 5. What we're going to do is circle the 16 and transform it into a 4. So 4 times 3 is going to be 12. But we still haven't used the 5, so we're going to put it right there to do the radical of 5. And voila! What we did right here is we did a lot of simplifying to make the math a bit more easier to calculate. Because earlier in the video, didn't we say that when you have 2 of the same radicals, you can add them like x plus x equals 2x. We can do that with radicals. So now, let's start to actually do the math. So, 6 plus 2 is going to be 8, the square root of 5. Now we have to subtract that by 12, the square root of 5. And 8 minus 12 is -4, and we have the square root of 5. That is going to be our answer. So at the same time, we learned how to add and subtract the radicals with this super long equation. What we could do to make it easier is try to have all the radicals be the same thing. Just like having all the same variables. Add apples and oranges and oranges. If you can't, then leave it as it is because you can't simplify. And that is how you add and subtract the radicals. I hope this video has helped you. Thank you for watching Talking Life's Math Mystery. Like and subscribe.
Growth pills.